Sethuraman sir, can we start?
Mute again.
I think we should wait for 2-3 minutes. 2-3 minutes you can wait and then you can start your.
Fine, sir.
People are now joining, so I don't want anyone to lose any session. That's the reason.
Fine, sir. Yes, sir.
ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಜನ ಬರೀ 7 ಜನ
ಮೂರು ಜನ ಜಡೆಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ನನಗಿಲ್ಲ.
I think you can start now, please.
One.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am V. Ramesh and I am coordinator for today's webinar. We are pleased to welcome you all for today's webinar on the topic export payment methods and documentation. We wholeheartedly thank you for accepting our invitation and participating in today's webinar. We are glad to welcome today's speaker, Mr. Sethuraman Sattappan sir. We are happy to welcome Dr. A.M. Suresh, founder and managing director of Disciples India Group, and Mr. K.M. Shivaprasad, co-founder and executive director of Disciples India Group, Bangalore. The objective of organizing this webinar is to facilitate learning opportunity to budding entrepreneurs, startups, exporters, and MSMEs to increase their business horizon across the globe. We appreciate your active participation in the webinar till the end. We request you to please mute your phones, laptops in order to not to disturb other participants. Participants can ask their questions at the end of presentation. The export and import of every country is considered to be a major backbone for the growth of its economy. World trade has expanded rapidly over the past decades. When it comes to India, the potential business is very high. Various countries of the world with the objective of boosting its external trade. Foreign trade policy of India has always focused on substantial increasing the country's share of global merchandise trade. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji in 2019 envisioned making India a USD 5 trillion economy by 2030 and a global economic powerhouse by 2025. With this, India would become the third largest economy in the world. Exports help a nation to grow. Countries export goods and services in which they have a competitive advantage. Government encourage exports because of this increased revenues, foreign currency reserves, and creation of jobs. For these reasons, countries seek to boost their exports. We appreciate your active participation and hope you will have a fruitful learning experience. We are pleased to welcome today's speaker, Mr. Sethuraman Sattappan sir, and we express our sincere gratitude to him for accepting our request and coming forward to share his knowledge and experience with us on the topic export payment methods and documentation. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Sethuraman Sathappan sir to the August gathering. Sir is currently working as Chief Operating Officer India with Emirates NBD Mumbai. He has 36 years of banking experience with one nationalized bank and 5 foreign banks in India. He is a regular columnist in a popular Tamil daily Dinamalar, one of the largest circulated dailies in Tamil Nadu, and writing articles related to exports, imports, economics, startups for the last 19 years. He has written more than 1,500 articles in Tamil on the above subjects till date. His startup columns are very popular among Tamil readers. He also has conducted seminars at various places in Tamil Nadu on exports and imports. One such seminar in Karur has attracted around 1,700 participants. Conducted 2 seminars on UCP, the International Rules for Export-Import Documentation, in Tamil for the benefit of Tirupur exporters. The first one was attended by 660 and the second one was attended by 1,200 participants. He has delivered lectures in more than 50 seminars in India and international related to exports. He has been invited for international export documentation seminars by Kenyan government for the last 12 years. He has also written 17 books, 6 in Tamil on exports, imports and savings and 11 in English. He has also translated UCPDC 600, the rule book for export documentation in Tamil for the benefit of Tamil Nadu exporters, which has become really useful to the exporters to make the export documents without any mistakes. In the last 3 years, he has mentored many youngsters in establishing new businesses and advised startups for their progressive growth. Recently, he has been conferred advocate title by the London Institute of Banking and Finance in recognition of his work on exports documentation for the last 20 years. May I request Mr. Sethuraman Sathappan sir to enlighten us on the topic export payment methods and documentation with his rich experience and vast knowledge. Over to Sethuraman sir. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning to the people of Karnataka. Good morning to the people of Tamil Nadu. Good morning to the people of other than Karnataka and Tamil Nadu from other parts of the country. I welcome you all for this seminar. This seminar has become an important one because currently there are a lot of losses happening when the documentations are not done good or something like that. And the people have not understood the concept of methods of payments, etc. Hello, can you please mute your mics, please? Please. Okay. I'm sharing my screen. Just someone has to tell me whether it is you are able to see or something like that. People are able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
visible.
Visible. Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, now today's topic is, first of all, I thank Disables India. And I got to know about this organization only through Ramesh. Ramesh has been constantly in touch with me for this seminar. And thanks to Ramesh because he's so interested in helping the people, especially the farmers, to come up to sell their produce across India or outside India, exporting, etc. Thanks to the organization Disables India, Bangalore, for their noble work, I can say. Thanks for inviting me for this seminar. And today's topic is export methods of payments and documentation. Hello, someone can mute the mic, please. Please, you mute the mic. Over not muted, please mute. I'm still having.
Mute your participants. Please mute your phones and laptops, not to disturb further.
Hello, can you please mute? Okay, now today's topic is export methods of payments and documentation. This is an interesting topic in which I have done a lot of research, and I have passed the highest qualification, I can say, the CDCS advocate and CITF. That's why this is a topic of interest for me also. I go and teach this kind of subjects to bankers generally bankers and bigger export companies, etc. Now Ramesh was very specific in teaching me about export methods of payments and documentation. So thanks to Ramesh, I am starting the session. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I'm starting the session now. There may be a lot of questions maybe coming into your mind. Keep your questions written in your notepad or something like that. And I'm giving you 20 to 30 minutes because I generally expect a lot of questions in these sessions. That's the reason I just give you 20 to 30 minutes session at the end of this session. And another one good thing I'm going to announce is at the end of the session is I'm going to give LC documentation rule book worth about 3,000 rupees for free for all the participants. Okay, that announcement I will make it at the end, what you people should do or something like that. And one more announcement which I am making it now itself. Methods of payment and the documentation is a very, very difficult area to understand. That's why what I am telling is that my practice of around 20 years in foreign exchange, especially in documentation, I think I can confidently tell that I have seen more than about 30,000-40,000 documents, export documents in my life. More than 30,000-40,000 export LCs in my life. I have scrutinized myself about 5,000 LCs or something like that with the export LCs with the documentation. That's why I can confidently tell I can do a good documentation. I can do a good documentation. What it means? When you get an export order, listen carefully. When you get an export order and you are getting a LC, when you get a LC, when you make a documentation, there are chances of you making the mistake. Now, for that, what we can do is, I can sit with you and help you in making the documentation for your whenever you receive an export LC, I can sit with you and make the documentation for you completely free of cost. That I will do it for you. That's why that whoever is the participant, they can approach me when they are getting a LC for any clarification or for any documentation. It will be done completely free because now you are worry free. That is, there won't be any worry for you because whether the documentation is made good or bad or something like that, I can make a good documentation for you. This is point number one. Point number two, this kind of documentation, if you go to a chartered accountant or an expert or something, they will charge you around 2,000 or 3,000 rupees, which I'm not going to charge you. It's completely free because my aim is to increase exports for India. My aim is to export, increase the exports for India, not to make money or something like that out of it. That is the reason we formed 2 WhatsApp groups also in Tamil Nadu that to propagate exports. There are 2 selfless individuals. They don't expect anything except like me, exports to increase for India like that. One is Senthil Murugan. Another is Shankar Narayanan. They have started 2 WhatsApp groups. They are maintaining so well, I can say. They are maintaining so well. They are giving immense knowledge to the people or participants in the WhatsApp group or something like that. And I think they are there in the session. They will put their links also in the chat group. That you people interested, you can join. It's completely free. You people interested, you can join. A lot of immense knowledge, you will get it. And that is one announcement I want to make. One is that completely I will do documentation free for you. Number 2 is there is a WhatsApp group, you can gain your knowledge. Third one is I will announce about the book which we are going to give free at the end. Now we will go into the session. Okay, why exports? There are a lot of people who are doing well. in local sales itself. What is the need for exports? Why do we get into exports? The first reason is India's exports are growing in the recent times. If you see in the COVID time, our exports, our exports between 2015 to 20 or 20, it was not very great. I can say it was not very great, going around $300 billion only. The merchandise export was going around $300 billion only. After the COVID, or during the COVID, I can say, during the COVID, our exports started improving. Now we have reached around $400 billion. The latest number shows $35 billion per month. That translates into almost close to $400 billion. Or more than $400 billion, I can say, slightly more than $400 billion. That's why the demand is increasing. What's happening? There are a lot of countries affected by COVID. That's why they can't work properly or something. The people cannot work properly or something like that. There is a fear among the people. That's the reason the demand is increasing for your exports. Number 3 is limitless market. What I mean limitless market? If you are doing a local sale in Karnataka, maybe you will take Kolar or some Dharwad or some place or something like that. If you are doing a small place sale within Dharwad or within Kolar, coal fields, etc. Now what's happening? You are not going beyond your Dharwad, beyond your place. Now what is happening? If you go into Amazon and start selling it, then what will happen? You can go beyond borders. You can sell in Maharashtra, you can sell in Assam, you can sell in Andhra, anywhere you can sell it. Same way you can sell outside India also. That means the limitless market means you can go out of India and there is no limit for your market. Higher profits. Why I mentioned higher profit? Generally, I don't tell higher profits. But only thing is, if you see the local sale and if you compare with the local sale with your exports, there is always a good margin is available. That's the reason I mentioned as higher profits or something like that. When you sell more profits. When you sell more profits. Immediate payment. There are many people will think that what is immediate payment means. Immediate payment means when you export it, if it is a side payment, you will get the payment on side basis. Hello, some sounds are coming in. Please mute your Please mute your mics, please. Is Dhanalakshmi, please mute your mic. Dhanalakshmi. Okay. Now, immediate payment. What is meant by immediate payment? Immediate payment means now what's happening when you make a document. When you export goods, immediately after making the document, if it is 180 days or 240 days or 270 days or 90 days or something like that, the payment terms, you can give it to the bank and get it discounted. You can give it to the bank and get it discounted and get the payment immediately on the day one or something like that. That is called immediate payment. Export and grow further. That means expand. You can expand your horizons. If you are exporting to Gulf, then you can send it to Saudi. If you are sending it to Saudi, you can send it to Hong Kong to Singapore, Singapore to USA, USA to Canada. Like that, you can expand and grow further. Export incentives. The World Trade Center is telling, or the global bodies are telling that you cannot give incentives and grow exports as well. India also cut down many incentives, but there are some incentives still available. That's why you can get export incentives for exports. Government schemes. There are a lot of government schemes are available for exports. In banking also, especially in banking, I'll just tell you 32% of the bank loan is to be given for the purpose of export. 32% of your bank loan to be given for exports. Okay, now this is the reason for exports. Now India's exports are growing. I already told you that's the reason that we certainly look for exports or something like that. Third one is this. I have given you a table. In the table, what is I'm just giving that export numbers which has been published for January 20. I have given the latest numbers for you. The export for the month of January was $34.50 billion. $1 billion equal to 7,500 crores. $1 billion is equal to 7,500 crores. Now 35 we will take it. 35 means $420 billion per year. 420 billion. This is merchandise exports. Merchandise means whatever you exported, rice or oil or something like that, that is called merchandise export. If you see the second column, it is services export. What is services exports is exporting to the tune of $26.91 billion, around $27 billion. What is services exports? Services exports consist of softwares. I can say softwares. That is the major portion is being taken by softwares. Okay, the overall trade for export is $61.41 billion. This is tremendous increase, I can say. We can clap ourselves or we can pat ourselves, and it's a tremendous number, I can say. And we have to be happy with the numbers. The numbers are growing. And only one thing I can tell everyone used to tell COVID time. Really, I can say that we have used it well. That during COVID time, that if you are sitting at home or something like that, there are a lot of webinars have been conducted by various associations. Lot of webinars. Even I myself conducted about 20 or 30 webinars during the COVID time. And now what happened? The COVID is coming down. COVID is coming down. But the COVID time, the last 2 years or 2.5 years, really Indian people have used it. The technology, I can say the technology in the sense the webinar that has really given tremendous boost for our youngsters in various fields, how to export or whatever, that everything. That is, it's not only export, that seminars not only on exports, it has various subjects. That's the reason it has really helped people. That's why that though COVID has taken our time, efforts, money, etc., we have to thank for this kind of technology innovation. Otherwise, it would not have come. And methods of payment. We will go into the today's topic, methods of
Sorry to
payment.
disturb.
Yes. Screens are not moving. Are you able to see the screen methods of payment now?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now we will go into today's topic.
Sir, could you make the screen to full presentation mode?
No, I was having some doubt. That's the reason that I have not done it. Now you are able to see full screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now second screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now I will go into that same.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, right. Thank you. Methods of payment. There are 4 methods of payments are there. 4 methods of payments are there. One is cash in advance, that is called advance remittance. Number 2 is open account. That means if you know the party well, if you know the overseas party well, that is called open account. That means there won't be any LC, there won't be any collection, there won't be any advance. And the third one is collection account. That is documentary collections. The collection is called documentary collections. Fourth one is letters of credit. That is called the maximum secured method or the most secured method or something like that. We will talk about everything in detail, I can say. Now we will go into that all these things. What will happen? You have to select one of the payment methods. As an exporter, you will get confused which method to take, which method to select or something like that. We will see in detail, and keep your questions also ready. Okay, that at the end I am ready to answer all the questions. Now, cash in advance, advance remittance. But in this all the 4 methods, I am going to take 2 or 3 people as examples. One is Sathapan. I am Sathapan. I am the exporter. Now listen carefully. I am Sathapan. I am the exporter. We will take one Ganesh in Singapore. We will take one Ganesh in Singapore as the importer. Okay, we will take for all the examples. We will take one Ganesh in Singapore as importer. I will ask at the end who is the exporter, who is importer, etc. Please remember or write it down also. Now, for me, the bank, for me, Sathapan, for me, the exporter, the bank is, for my bank is Canara Bank. I will take Canara Bank, Bangalore. Why I am saying Canara Bank, Bangalore is my first job was in Canara Bank. Okay, and 1984 I joined Canara Bank in Tamil Nadu as a clerk, and I have come up to the level of chief operating officer now. That's why that I always have loyalty towards Canara Bank, or the love towards Canara Bank, etc. Even now I have a lot of friends who are all in senior positions, etc. Okay, Sathapan is the exporter for throughout this seminar, this 2-hour seminar. Sathapan is the exporter, and Canara Bank is the bank for Sathapan. And there is one Ganesh in Singapore is the importer. And Ganeshka Bank is DBS Bank in Singapore. Ganeshka Bank is DBS Bank in Singapore. Okay, now if this 4 you understand clearly, then that entire session you will understand clearly. Satappan and Ganesh, Canara Bank and DBS Bank. Okay, note it down or just keep it in your mind or heart. Now cash in advance. Now what will happen? Cash in advance, when somebody will give cash. For example, if Ganesh wants to give cash to me as an advance remittance, then what will happen? My product should be really good. My product should be really good, and he should be knowing me well. He should be knowing me well. Then only he will give advance. Otherwise, what will happen? If he gives advance to me, Ganesh gives advance to Satappan, then what will happen? Satappan can run away with the money. Satappan can run away with the money. That's why that advance remittance generally done among known people. Listen carefully. Advance remittance is generally done among known people. I have seen a case. Since I I'm working in bank for long. I have seen a case when there is an advance remittance is coming in for $1 million. 1 million equal to 7.5 crores. 1 million equal to 7.5 crores. I am getting an advance remittance from Ganesh. Now Ganesh half-heartedly has sent that money, but still he wants to secure the payment. Ganesh wants to secure that advance remittance. What Ganesh can ask is, Satappan, can you give me a guarantee for this advance remittance? Can you give me a guarantee through your banker for this advance remittance? What it means? What it means is I have to go to my banker, Canara Bank, and tell that Ganesh is going to send 7.5 crores to me as an advance remittance for my exports. But he wants a guarantee for the amount. That means in case if I am not exporting, listen carefully. In case Satappan is not exporting, Ganesh can invoke the guarantee and take the money. That means it's a secured method for him. That's the reason there are chances. The advance remittance can come in without guarantee also. Listen carefully. Advance remittance can come without guarantee also. Advance remittance can come with guarantee also. With guarantee means Satappan has to go to Canara Bank and ask for the Canara Bank manager in Bangalore. Tell, sir, Ganesh is remitting me 7.5 crores. He wants a guarantee. Can you issue me a guarantee? Guarantee means there are some formalities which you have to complete with your bank in Canara Bank, which I don't want to go now. That will be a long process. Now what's happening? Ganesh is sending the money free to me. That means without a guarantee. What I will do with that, immediately after receiving the money, I start purchasing the raw material. I make the goods and pack it properly and export it. This is one way. But here what is happening? I have to safeguard the interest of me. Sir, we will go to the second leg. That is Ganesh is sending the 7.5 crores to me, Satappan. And he wants a guarantee. Immediately I will go to the banker and send a guarantee or something like that. If I default in making that shipment, what will happen is my guarantee will be invoked by the DBS Bank or the Ganesh. Then what will happen? My guarantee will be invoked. When my guarantee is invoked, my banker will debit my account and make the payment or something. If my account is not having a debit, they will debit the internal account and make the payment, etc. and then try to recover from me. Okay, this is the thing is going to happen in advance remittance. Advance remittance means it's generally happening only to the known people, or your quality of the goods is excellent. And nobody is doing it. Nobody is making it or something like that. Then only the advance remittance can come in. We will go to the next slide now. Open account. Okay, now the slide is open account slide. Open account means what is the meaning of open account? Now Ganesh and Satappan knows each other. There is no advance coming in. Please note there is no advance payment coming in. Ganesh is giving order. What I forgot to tell you in the this first advance remittance is there is a contract Satappan and Ganesh to enter into. There is a contract Satappan and Ganesh to enter into. This is an important aspect which you people should note it. Without contract, no export will take place or something like that. Contract is very, very important. In case of any disputes, you can go to the court, etc. That's why contract is very, very important. That's why how do you enter into a contract? Whether you have to go to Singapore Or Ganesh has to come from Singapore to India? No, not required. Nowadays, what's happening? Generally, the contracts are sent by a scan copy or something like that, digitally signed. Scan copy, digitally signed, etc. That's why that you can also follow that method. And in case if you are able to go to Singapore, it's welcome. In case if you are able to go to Singapore, you are welcome. And in case Ganesh is coming from Singapore to India for signing this agreement, that is also welcome. That's why that contract is one of the important factor that you should look into. How do you make the contract? And what is the content of the contract, etc. That if someone wants, I can help them. There is no problem. But that is a long subject itself. I can give them contract copies or something like that, which they have to modify, etc. Okay. This if somebody is interested in getting a contract copy, they can contact me. My email ID, etc. at the end I am giving you. That's why that you can contact me. Okay. Now we will go to the open account. Open account means Ganesh is not interested in sending the advance remittance. Ganesh is not interested in sending the advance remittance. Satyapan also, okay, he is also slightly rich and he can make the goods, he can purchase raw material, he can make the goods, he can pack it, he can export it, etc. He can do it. That is called open account. Open account means it is generally this open account. I have seen enough number of open account transactions. Now what's happening when do a open account transaction you should know the party well. You should know the party well. Without knowing the party, don't do any open account transactions. Now what's happening when you do the open account? Now 2 or 3 aspects you should take into account. First is contract. Second is export credit insurance. Second is export credit insurance. You should have a credit insurance. Clearly take it. You should, as an exporter, you should take the credit insurance from Export Credit Guarantee Corporation, ECGC. ECGC. Third one is generally this is for 30 to 90 days. Generally that it's not going to 180 days, to 240 days or 270 days, etc. It is generally for 30 to 90 days. And it is one of the advantage. Why this is called most advantageous option means the bank charges are not there. The bank charges are not there. Otherwise, the banks will fleece you. Like that, many people are telling it. I am working for a bank. That's why that I can't comment anything about that. The fleecing the customer. I am not seeing any fleecing, but still customers feel that they are being fleeced by the banks, etc. If you send a collection document, you have to pay money to the bank as a charges. If you open a LC, you have to pay money to the bank as a for opening the LC, and you have to give collaterals, etc. But open account, you send the document directly from here to Singapore. Satyapan is sending the document to Singapore, and Ganesh receives the document and takes the goods and then sells the good and sends the money in 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, or side basis, etc. One thing you have to remember very clearly. One thing you have to remember very clearly is there is a RBI regulation related to the direct documents. This is called direct document. That means when there is an open account, there is no need of involving the bank. You have to send the document directly. There is no need of giving the document to your bank, and bank will dispatch the document, etc. You can dispatch the document, but you have to tell the bank that I have entered into a contract with. You have to tell the bank I have entered into a contract with Ganesh. Satyapan has entered into a contract with Ganesh, and Ganesh and there is a contract between the two. I am going to send the document directly, like that. You have to inform the bank. This you don't forget. Okay. And now what happened? Because of the intense competition in export markets, foreign buyers also often press exporters to open account transaction. That means they can reduce the charges. This is the maximum, because exports the margins are wafer thin. The margins are wafer thin. That's the reason they are also pushing you to reduce the cost. Okay. Third one is documentary collection. Documentary collection. Documentary collection means, what is documentary collection means? Documentary collection means you make Satyapan exporting the goods. Once he exported, he makes the documentation. And he goes and gives the documentation to Canara Bank. Canara Bank, what they will do? They will not send the document to Ganesh. They will send the document to DBS Bank, Canara Bank, that is Ganeshka Bank. They will send it to DBS Bank. DBS Bank will present it to Ganesh. The document may be of site basis or usance basis, which we will see later. What is site, what is usance, etc. We will see it later. Now what will happen? The document is going through a bank. In the first one, open account there is no need of sending the document. The first one, advance remittance there is no need of sending the document through the bank. You can send it directly, but still you have to inform your banker for sending the document. In open account, you have to take permission from the bank for sending the document. Third one is in documentary collection. You go and give the document to the bank only. You go and give the document to the bank only. And bankers, Canara Bank is sending it to the DBS Bank. DBS Bank is sending it to Ganesh. Now what will happen? If it is a side payment, Canara Bank will deliver the document only after the payment. If it is a usance payment, usance means after 30 days. Kavi Arasu, please mute your phone, please. And third one is now when the document comes, usance document means you give your acceptance to the banker on the back of the bill of exchange, and then you take the document and sell the goods and give the money to the banker at the time, whether it is site or usance or something like that, and the payments will come to India. Here there is a major risk. In all the three, the first one, open account, the advance remittance, there is no risk at all for you as an exporter. Advance remittance, there is no risk as an exporter. In case of open account, there is a big risk for you that payment may not come in. The payment may not come in. The payment may not come in. That's the reason you are going for export credit insurance with the ECGC. In the documentary collection also, there are chances the payment may not come in. The banker is not responsible. You are sending through the banker. You are using banker as a medium. You are using banker as a medium. You are sending the document through the banker. There is no LC here. That's why the banker is not responsible. Banker is not responsible. Many times I heard, sir, document, aapko hi bheja na? That sorry, you only sent it. No, then you only sent it. Then what is the need? Whether you have to get the money. You have to get the money like that. They will put the gun on our neck or something like that and ask for the payment. Now what's happening in documentary collection? The bankers are not responsible for the payment because bankers do only a postman job. Bankers do only I'm sorry to say this, bankers do only a postman job or something like that. But now what's happening that what is the advantage? Here also you have to take export credit insurance. Here also you have to take export credit guarantee corporation insurance. Insurance is a vital one. Like what you do, what you take for your life, you are taking life insurance. If it is your vehicle, you are taking vehicle insurance. If you are house, you can take house insurance, burglary insurance, etc. You can take. There are a lot of insurance policies available, variety of policies available, various types of policies available. We are interested in taking policy for our car or bike, etc. because that is compulsory. Something is made compulsory, you do it. Something is made compulsory, you do it. Something you don't make compulsory, you don't do it. Life insurance, how many people you must have taken? The penetration level in India is 4 or 5%. Out of 100 people, only 4 or 5 people have taken life insurance or a medical insurance or something like that. The penetration level is 4 or 5%. But whereas if it is forced, vehicle insurance is done more than 90%. Car insurance or bike insurance is done more than 90%. Burglary insurance or house insurance or something like that, no? That is not taken even by 5 to 10% or something. Balance 90% of the people, they don't take it at all. But even in export credit, the insurance is not compulsory because it will increase your cost. That is the reason many people, they don't take. I know Ganesh, like that they don't take. But it is compulsory. From my perspective, as a new exporter, it is compulsory. You have to take export credit guarantee corporation insurance. Without insurance, don't move ahead. Without insurance, don't move ahead or something like that. But insurance also, when there is a claim coming in or something, you have to handle very carefully. You have to keep the documentation very, very carefully. Without documentation, don't do anything. There are a lot of people, when they go for filing the claim with insurance company, ECGC, etc., they reject the claim because the documentation is not good. Now, Documentary collection may, the charges are less than opening a LC. The charges are less than opening a LC. There is a remitting bank. Who is the remitting bank? That remitting bank is Canara Bank in India, that is Bangalore. Collecting bank is DBS Bank in Singapore. The exporter is Satapan, the importer is Ganesh. Okay, now we will move on to the next one. What is the need for uniform rules for collection? What is the need for uniform rules for collection means there is a rule for collection. There is a rule. In case of advance remittance, there is no rule set by the ICC. ICC means International Chamber of Commerce. In case of open account, there is no rule set by International Chamber of Commerce. But in case of uniform, in case of collection document, documentary collection, there is a rule set by ICC Paris. ICC Paris. What they do is that is called URC, Uniform Rules for Collection. That is called URC, Uniform Rules for Collection. What is Uniform Rules for Collection means? It is a rule. I can say about 22 articles are there. 189 countries are following that. 189 countries are following globally. And when you cross the border for trading, that is exports, when you try to do or something like that, there may be disputes. Different opinions may come in. How do you resolve? How do you resolve? This is a major question. When there is a dispute or something like that, but the uniform rule book will really help you. This rule book will really help you. That's the reason you have to follow the rule book. That's the reason you have to follow the rule book. Okay. Now these rule books are very costly. I can say about each rule book is costing about 3,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees or something like that, because all the ICC publications are costly. That's the reason I said at the end I will make an announcement. And what is the need for rule? When you export to Hong Kong, or something like that, we'll take Singapore. When you export to Singapore, then what will happen? If there is no rule book like URC, then what will happen? India will have a separate rule book, Singapore will have a separate rule book, Nigeria will have a separate rule book, Hong Kong will have a separate rule book, Kenya will have a separate rule book, like that. You should be reading every rule book. Export rule book, that will be cumbersome, you can't do exports. That will be cumbersome, you can't rule export. That's why there is a common body called ICC, International Chamber of Commerce. They have made the rule book for collections, documentary collections. Now, it has got 22 articles. Who are all the parties to the collection? How a collection letter, bank, when they send a collection letter, how a collection letter to look like, and how the payments are made, how the payments to be made, and the collection document, creation of documents. In case the payments are not coming, how to protest, etc. And it really gives this 22 articles. If you read it, if you read the 22 articles of collection, it tells you how do you handle a collection, and how the bankers will handle a collection, how the exporter will handle a collection, etc. That means it's really a worth reading book. But only thing is, it's like a law. It's like a law. It's not law, but it's like a law rule. It's not law, but it's a rule. Since it's a rule, no, that it's difficult to understand. If somebody reads a legal opinion, etc., you will not be able to understand it. Same way, this 22 articles also, it's difficult to understand. But what's happening? What I did to master it, is whenever I go out of Mumbai for a travel, either it is a train journey or a flight journey, or whether it is any other journey mode or something, I take this kind of rule books, that is URC or UCP, like that. The rule books I take along with me and read it while going. That's the reason I passed out that CDCS examination in the year 1998. In the year 1998, I was the first Indian to pass. I went to Sharjah to write the exam. At the time, this center was not there in India. It was in Sharjah. I went to Sharjah to write the examination and all. That's why after that 6 times I renewed. After that 6 times CDCS certification I renewed. since I renewed 6 times, they have conferred me advocate title also. Now I can put myself in my name, along with my name, I can put CDCS advocate, etc. Advocate means don't understood that I can practice in high court or lower court or something like that. It's not that same thing. It is a conferred title, I can say. It's a conferred title, a privileged one, which many people don't have. In India, only 3 or 4 people have got it. Okay. Now we will go to letters of credit. My favorite area, letters of credit. It's also called documentary credit, DC. It is also called documentary credit. It's also called LC. LC means letters of credit or documentary credit. How this LC is evolved? LC means it's a guarantee given by the banker. It's a guarantee given by the banker. Now what we have seen advance remittance, we have seen open account, we have seen documentary collections or collection documents, we have seen. Now we are seeing letters of credit. Letters of credit, how it evolved means, earlier days means I am talking about 100, 200 years before, 100, 200 years before. Banks were there. There were banks 100 years before, 200 years before or something like that. Banks were there. But there is no SWIFT, there is no telex, there is nothing, there is no fax, nothing, there is no communication at all. If somebody wants to come from London to India, okay, you purchase of diamond or something like that. Somebody wants to come from London to India for purchase of diamond some 150 years before. He has to bring a lot of money, put it in his bag and bring it to India or something like that. Then what will happen? There are chances he may be abducted, or there are chances somebody may steal the money or something like that. What he did, the guy has done, he went to the bank in London and told, I'm going to India and I want some money to be paid in India. That means I don't want to take the money. I will give the money to you, $100,000 I'm giving it to you, or 100,000 pounds I'm giving it to you. You go and you tell some of your Indian counterpart, your banker, some of your banker in India, correspondent bank it is called. It is called correspondent bank. That means the banks have got a relationship. The bank, relationship banks it's called. Now, when there is a relationship bank, what's happening is, that bank can instruct, that means that bank can instruct another bank. Okay, one of my customer is coming to India and he wants $150,000. You can give $150,000 in part or full or something like that. When you pay money, you tell us, we will reimburse you. When you pay the money, you tell us that we will reimburse you by remitting the money from here to London to India or something like that. This is how LCs evolved. In the 19th century or early 20th century, people were traveling from one place to other place. They don't want to carry money, bulk money, etc., to buy goods, etc. They were carrying this kind of letters from banker to banker, and with that letter, the money was paid to the importer, and that's why it is called letters of credit. So that's why it was that. This is the evaluation of letters of credit. Okay. Now what's happening? Letters of credit is one of the most secured instruments available for international. Secured instrument for exporter. An LC is a commitment done by the bank on behalf of the buyer that payment will be made to the exporter, provided that the terms and conditions which are stated in the LC have been met. Here there is a catch. Then what's happening? It's a most secured method for exporter, most secured method for importer, because when I make the goods, when I export it, when I make the documents, then only I come to the bank and give the document. That means I do the exporting and give the copy of the exporting by a bill of lading or a lorry receipt or aircraft airway bill. Something I give a proof for having exported the goods. A proof I will give it for having exported the goods. And then I give the document to the banker, but the document should be very, very clean. Kavi Arasu, please mute. Please mute. What is the problem in muting? You can mute, your children can talk or something like that. Please mute. Okay, now what's happening? When my flow also stopped, that's why please don't do it, please. because it's only 2 hours. If you are not happy, you can leave. I don't have any problem. You can leave the call also. But if you are in the seminar, please mute the phone. If you are in the seminar, you are interested in listening, please mute the phone. Okay, now what's happening that I send the goods, and then that's the reason that LC is an important medium, like that people are thinking. But only one problem. For opening LC, there is a lot of money to be spent by the importer. Ganesh has to spend a lot of money. That means he has to give margin, he has to give some collateral, or he has to give some collateral or something, and then he has to request the banker to issue the LC, etc. And it takes time. And the documentation you have to make perfectly. It is not the goods alone. If you are making the goods well, that is sufficient for collection, that is sufficient for open account, that is sufficient for advance remittance. There is no documentation problem in all the three. But in case of letters of credit, there is a big documentation problem is there. You have to make the document perfectly. You have to, without, if you are making perfect goods, excellent goods, but you have not made the documents perfectly, then what will happen? You will not get the payment. You will not get the payment. You are making an excellent goods. The goods are really good and it's appreciated by everyone. But what's happening? You will not get the payment if there is a mistake in the documentation. That is the reason I offered my services to the people of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and other states, completely free of cost, documentation for you people. I am doing it for a lot of people, and I will do it for you also. In case if you open a company, you get a LC, you have a doubt, you can call me. Or if you don't have a doubt, if you want me to make the document, I can help you out in making the document, etc. This I am doing a service for the last so many years, so that I will continue to do it as long as it's possible by me or something, or it is feasible or possible or something like that. Okay. Now LC, now what's happening? LC means there are a lot of rules should be set. LC also there is a rule book called UCPDC, Uniform Customs and Practice for Documentary Credits. There is a rule book called Uniform Customs and Documentary Credit, Uniform Customs and Procedure for Documentary Credit. This is called UCPDC. The UCPDC has got 39 articles. UCPDC has got 39 articles. I can talk about the article even in sleep, I can talk, but for you people, as I told earlier, whenever you travel or something like that, take the UCPDC book. Take the UCPDC book, read article by article, you will start understanding it. It's easy to understand, but you will start understanding it because it just like a legal book. You have to read 2 or 3 times, then only you will understand. If you read article number 1, if you go to article number 20 or something, you will forget the article number 1. If you go to 20 and then go to 39 or something, you will forget article number 20 or something. That is the reason you have to read constantly again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again. That's why make it a practice to read this kind of books that will really help you in improving in your exports, etc. Now, what's really happening is when you export under LC, I told you have to be careful in documentation, and once you make the documentation, you have to go and give it to the Canara Bank. Canara Bank will do a scrutiny. I agree with you. Canara Bank will do a scrutiny, and once the Canara Bank has done a scrutiny, they will send the document to DBS Bank. DBS Bank also will do a scrutiny, and the customer has also option to do a scrutiny. That is, Ganesh also can has the option to do the scrutiny and accept the document, etc. That's why in case of LCs, the documentation is a vital one. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. This is the way export. Sorry, you are talking to me or? Okay, now letters of credit, there is a procedure. The diagram also, I'm just showing a diagram to you. I'm just showing a diagram to you. Here you see the seller and buyer entering the contract. The seller and buyer entering in a contract. I already told you contracts are very, very, very important. Don't forget to enter into a contract. WhatsApp, sir, I have seen some exporters coming into me. Sir, my chats are there in WhatsApp. He has given order on WhatsApp. I have exported it with the WhatsApp message only. I have not entered in the contract, etc. The WhatsApp messages may not be taken in court or something like that. It may come in at a later date as a evidence, but it may not be in the courts nowadays. They don't take WhatsApp messages or something like that with regard to export contracting, etc. That's why it is always advisable to enter into a contract, signed a contract, or digitally signed a contract, etc. Exchange between the parties. This is really helpful for you at a later date if there is a dispute in the document, in the dispute in the LC, etc. or payment, etc. Now buyer and seller, that is Satappan and Ganesh, are entering into a sales contract, and then what will happen? Satappan has started making the goods. Satappan has started buying the raw material and started making the export goods, and then exporting it and all, and then present the documents to my banker present to DBS Bank, DBS Bank present to the buyer. If the buyer accepts that documents may be of side document or response document, which we will see little bit later, okay. Now what's happening, that the DBS Bank presents to Ganesh. Ganesh accepts the document. If it is a usance document, the acceptance is conveyed to Satappan through the banker. If it is a side document, the payment comes. Anyhow, Satappan can get the bill discounted. Yes, anyhow, Satappan can get the bill discounted in Canara Bank and get the payment on the day one or something like that. Now we'll see the continuation of the letters of credit only. It is one of the most secure payment instruments available in the international traders. LC is a commitment by a bank. See, I'll just give you an interesting case to you, an interesting story to you. Now what is happening? On the due date, the importer has to make the payment. It is $1 million. $1 million means 7.5 crores or something like that. The importer has to make the payment. That is Ganesh. When the banker has gone and seen his account, that there is no funds at all available. It is only hardly a crore or something like that available. Then what will happen? 1 crore only is available in Ganesh account, whereas you have to make a payment of 7.5 crores. Whether you can wait for Ganesh to fund. Ganesh is telling, I will fund in 1 week's time or 10 days time or something like that. Will you be able to wait? No. As a banker, DBS Bank has to make the payment on the day one. DBS Bank has to make the payment on the day one. And that means they have to debit their internal account. DBS Bank has to debit their internal account without waiting for Ganesh payment. This is the significance of LC. That is the reason it is called the most secured method. That means even if Ganesh is not having money, the payment will be made by the banker. The payment will be made by the banker without any disputes or something like that. That's why it's called the most secure instruments. And now LC has got this, UCPDC has got 39 rules. 39 rules are divided into various parts. One talks about, some rules talks about your transportation. That means you are sending the goods by bill of lading. You are sending the goods, that means you are sending the goods by sea. You get a bill of lading. When you are sending the goods by air, you get air transport document. When you are sending the goods by rail, rail transport receipt. When you are sending the goods by truck receipt, you get it. When you are sending the goods by any other mode, I can say, then you get that receipt or something like that. Now that will be the evidence for your export. That the UCPDC also talks in 5 or 6 articles about this kind of transportation rules. Then it talks about invoice, how the invoice look like. How do you prepare invoice? The article number 18 of UCPDC talks about how do you prepare invoice. Article number 26 talks about insurance. Insurance, how do you make insurance? How do you get insurance policy? What kind of insurance policy to be taken, etc. 38 talks about transfer letter of credit. 39 talk about assignment of credit or something like that. All these things, 39 articles are important articles. Anjali, can you mute your phone, please? Okay. Now that is the reason all the 39 articles are very, very important. I told you when you are traveling, you please read. This will really help you making a good documentation, etc. Now we are going to see the types of letters of credit. Types means there are various types of letters of credits are there. One is irrevocable and revocable letter of credit. The word revocable is not there nowadays. Okay, the word revocable is gone almost 10 years before or 15 years before. The word revocable is gone. Now it's only irrevocable letter of credit. Revocable means a letter of credit is given. After that, the Ganesh can revoke the LC. Ganesh can revoke the LC. If you make the goods or something like that, you are before your export, your LC is revoked or something. What will happen? You will lose your money. That's the reason that revocable word is removed from UCPDC, and then now all the LCs are irrevocable only. All the LCs are irrevocable. It is irrevocable unless otherwise agreed between all the parties. That means all the bankers. That is DBS Bank and Ganesh, Satapan, everyone to agree to revoke the LC. Then only it is called revocable. Otherwise, it is irrevocable letter of credit only. Okay. Now, irrevocable means Ganesh himself cannot take a decision. Ganesh himself cannot take a decision to revoke the LC. He on his own, he cannot do anything. He has to take the consent of Satapan also. That is the called that is the major difference between irrevocable and revocable. But only one thing what I want to tell, whatever the LCs you are receiving, that is all irrevocable LCs only. That's why you need not worry about revocable. And the second thing is, Varun, please can you mute your phone? Varun, mute your phone, please. Okay, now irrevocable and revocable letter of credit. How do you receive your LC? How your LC will look like? How do you receive your LC? Means generally the LCs are coming by way of SWIFT. SWIFT is Society for the Worldwide Interbank Financial Transaction. It is a method of communication. SWIFT is a method of communication. It is just like a telex. It's just like a telex. It's just like any other medium. It is. It comes by way of SWIFT. SWIFT. Every banker has installed SWIFT in their premises. Every banker has installed the SWIFT machine in their premises. And what will happen? Every banker has got a code also. Every bank branch has got a code for SWIFT. Now Ganesh will go to DBS Bank. DBS Bank will open a LC in SWIFT format MT700. It is called LC is called MT700. Message type is 700. Listen carefully. MT message type is 700, and then they make a 700 and then send it to Canara Bank in India, Bangalore. And Canara Bank, when they receive the LC, they authenticate the SWIFT. Once it is authenticated, they advise to Satapan. When I receive the LC, what I should do? When I receive the LC, what I should do? I should read minimum 10 times. I am telling you, this is my advice to you. When you receive a LC, read 10 times. Understand the LC very carefully, what you can do, what you cannot do. If you are not able to perform any of the LC condition, go back immediately. If you are not able to perform any of the LC conditions, go back immediately to the overseas customer, that is Ganesh, importer, and tell him, sorry sir, this I am not able to comply with it. You have to amend it. Or something like that. Or come to an expert like me. I will go through the LC and tell you. That this is a good LC or this clauses needs amendment, etc. Don't have any fear that if I tell my importer name to Satapan will try to export it or something like that. I don't do all these things. There is no need of doing it. I am positionally well, actually. I am doing well. So there is no need. You should have faith in me and then just send the docker, send the LC or something like that. Then what will happen? I can advise you properly, or you can cut the importer name with black ink or something and send the balance items to me or something like that. Okay, this is only advisory, which I already agreed to do for you, for all the people who have joined today. Now what's happening? When you receive LC, I told you to read 10 times. Then only you will understand. Now what that irrevocable and revocable you have seen. Now the confirmed LC. Now what is confirmed LC means? You don't know the overseas party. See, Satapan may not be knowing Ganesh. Do you think of a situation Satapan does not know Ganesh? Now what will happen? Ganesh is asking for a goods through LC or something like that, non-LC or something like that. He is asking for it. We will take LC only. Through LC, he is asking for the goods or something. When I receive the LC, I don't know the bank also. I don't know what is the bank is bank or something like that. then what will happen? I can ask for a confirmation from my bank, Canara Bank. I can ask for confirmation from my bank, Canara Bank. My banker, if he is satisfied, my banker, if he is satisfied, then what he will do? He will add confirmation. That is a chapa, he will add it. Okay. When you make the document, when you export the goods, now listen carefully, when you export the goods, after exporting, when you make the documents, good document, perfect document or something like that, you come and give the document to me. If the document complying with the terms and condition, I will make the payment to you, even if DBS Bank is not making the payment. Even if DBS Bank is not making the payment, I will make the payment to you. This is called confirmation. Confirmation means Canara Bank is stepping into the shoes of DBS Bank. Canara Bank means Canara Bank's confirmation means Canara Bank stepping into the shoes of DBS Bank. Now what will happen? For confirmation, whether you need to pay anything, yes, you have to pay some more money. You have to pay some money to the banker. That is why that because Canara Bank is stepping into the shoes, that is the reason Canara Bank taking the responsibility. You have to make some payment to Canara Bank. That is called confirmation charges. Confirmation is covered in UCPDC. The confirmation is covered in UCPDC in article number 8. If you read the UCPDC, and you will understand confirmation is covered in article number 8 of UCPDC. Okay, now we will go to the transferable letter of credit. The next one, next page I have gone. Transferable letter of credit. What is transferable letter of credit means? When you receive export LC, you are not able to export it, but you know Satapan is not able to export it. But Satapan knows that Krishnan can do it. Krishnan from Chennai can do it. So Krishnan from Chennai can do it or something like, because he has got the capability in doing that export, but that export I cannot do it or something like that. Or I may be an agent, I get the LC and pass it on to Krishnan or something like that. Under these circumstances, I am transferring the LC to Krishnan. For transferring the LC, what is required is, as per article number 38 of UCPDC, what I should know is that the word transfer should be there in the LC. When I receive the LC should be made transferable. It is very, very clearly should be made clearly transferable. The word transferable can be put in that LC. If the word transferable is there, then what's happening? You can transfer the LC to Krishnan of Chennai. Then Krishnan can export instead of me. That means I am passing my rights to Krishnan, and I will take 5% or 10% commission from him. For having given the LC, I will take some commission from Krishnan. Okay. Now this you understand, this is called transferable letter of credit. This is covered by article number 38 of UCPDC. And a transfer, when I transfer, for example, sometimes what will happen? When I transfer the LC, one particular item is $18 or something like that. When I transfer, I ask Krishnan to ship it to me by 17.50 cents, $17.50. That 50 cents is my profit or something. When I export it, the 50 cents is my profit or something like that. This is called transferable letter of credit. There are a lot of some rules are related to that. That's why that if you start seeing the rules today, a full day is required or something. That's why I'm seeing telling the rule number, that is the article number, and I'm telling you the gist of it. Okay. And standby LC. Standby LC means is nothing. It's just like a guarantee. Just like a guarantee. In many countries, the word guarantee is not used. I will tell you the countries, USA, Canada, Mexico, etc. They don't use the guarantees. They use only standby letter of credit. Standby letter of credit means it will be a standby. For example, you do a open account transaction. Satapan and Ganesh are doing an open account transaction. Satapan has given a guarantee. Satapan has given a guarantee to Ganesh. Okay, Satapan has given a guarantee to Ganesh. That is standby letter of credit I have given. Now what will happen? Sorry, this Ganesh is giving a guarantee to Satapan. Ganesh is giving a guarantee to Satapan. In case, because I am the exporter, when the goods are exported every time, for example, 100 shipments I am making to Ganesh. This year I am making 100 shipment to Ganesh. The LC will be, the standby LC will be on a standby. It will, you need not submit documents every time, make perfect documentation, etc. That is not required. Then what will happen? Ganesh is importing, Satapan is exporting it. In one payment, Ganesh has defaulted. Second payment, Ganesh has defaulted. He has not made the payment. Ganesh has not made the payment or something like that. What will happen? Then immediately you can invoke the guarantee. You can invoke the guarantee given by DBS Bank. You can invoke means Ganesh has not made the payment. That's why you can invoke the guarantee and take the money or something like that. This is standby. That's why the LC is standing by next to near to you. If there is any eventuality, if there is any unforeseen circumstances, then what will happen? The guarantee you can invoke it. The guarantee you can invoke it. These are the types of the letter of credit. Standby letter of credit you can see often. Transfer letter of credit you can see often. Irrevocable letter of credit you can see often. And confirmed also you can see often. All the four important types I have told you. All the four important types I have told you. There is one more type is there which I just want to touch upon. That is red clause letter of credit. Red clause means in the earlier days the LCs were manual. In the earlier days the LCs were manual. When the LCs were manual, there is a clause which is put in red. There is a clause which is put in red. Listen carefully. There is a clause which is put in red. And in the red clause, what they tell, you give advance. That means DBS Bank will tell India Canara Bank, you give advance to Satapan for purchasing the goods and processing the goods and manufacturing the goods and packing the goods and exporting it. That means the LC is $1 million. That DBS Bank will advise Canara Bank to give you a loan of 500,000 or something like that, 500,000, etc. And without any interest or something like that, then what will happen? I take the money. That is called equal to advance remittance only. It is equal to advance remittance. But what will happen? It is through the LC. Through the LC it is given. That's why that banker will take some documents from me and give advance red clause letter of credit. Through advance they will give. But nowadays it is not there. It's straight advance only. Nowadays it's very rare, but it can be done. It can be done through normal SWIFT. Also you can put a red clause. You can put it and then you can give advance to. That means Ganesh can give advance to Satapan. And this is a comparison. This comparison, you just see the slide. I will take some water. You see the slide. You see the slide and understand. I will explain you. You see the slide and understand. I will explain you. What is the least secured method for the exporter? What is the most secured method for the exporter? Now what will happen? For the exporter, the most secured method is cash in advance on the right side on the top. Cash, if the cash is coming in advance, that is the most secured method for you. Most secured method for Satapan also. And there is a triangle, no? That is from there we are starting. From the right side we are starting. Then letter of credit is the second most secured method for Satapan. Third is documentary collection is most secured method for Satapan because I am taking a ACGC cover. Fourth secured method is open account. Fourth secured method is open account. And that is the fourth secured means least secured, I can say. Least secured method is the open account. Now that is why in case of cash in advance, in case of letter of credit, you may be having a question. In case of cash in advance or letters of credit, whether ECGC cover is required. Whether ECGC cover is required or not like that. It is not required. ECGC cover is not required. For LC, ECGC cover is not required. For advance remittance, ECGC cover is not required. Hello. Please. Hello, phone mute pannunga, please. Mute your phone. Then third one is documentary collection. Your export credit insurance is very, very important. And open account also your ECGC cover is important. Now for the importer, cash in advance is the least secure method for him. Letters of credit is the next secured method, and documentary collection is the very good method for him, and open account is also very good method for him. Okay, this is the comparison between exporter and importer in a chart basis. This I have already told you, both the classes I have told. LCs are issued, local LCs. I have not touched upon this one. The local LC means LC is done within India. Whether LC can be issued within India? Yes. LC can be issued within India also. For example, you are buying the goods from Delhi You are buying the goods from Delhi. When you are buying the goods from Delhi, you don't know the party. That's the reason you are asking for a LC. He goes to the banker and making the LC. That is called through SFMS. It's not through SWIFT. The LCs are opened through SFMS. SFMS means Structured Financial Messaging System. Structured Financial Messaging is equal to SWIFT, but that is an Indian system. Through the Indian system, what you get RTGS NEFT, you always tell, you all know RTGS NEFT, the same system. Through the same system, SFMS is also, that is messages are also created, LC also created and issued. If it is international, you have to use SWIFT MT700 and use it and send it. Now LC classes are important to read. I have told you 10 times you have to read. When you receive a LC, you have to read 10 times the LC classes, then only you will understand better. If you are not fulfilling any classes, you have to go back and ask questions and ask them make amendment. The amendment will come by way of a MT707. Amendment will come by SWIFT. SWIFT is a Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Transaction. It is a communication method available to all the banks, and you have to get that LC through the bank. And the amendment also will come through the bank. 700 or 707. 707 is the amendment, 700 is the LC. This all will come through the bank only. The payment term, site or USAN. This I want to give little bit in detailed manner. Site means, what is site? Site means on citing the document. That means I am sending the document from here. Satyapan is sending the document, going and giving the document to Canara Bank. Canara Bank is forwarding the document to DBS Bank. DBS Bank is giving a advice to Ganesh. Ganesh, on citing the document, he has to make the payment. That is called site document. That means immediate. Site means more or less immediate. Within 4 or 5 days, the payment will come in. USANS means a delayed period of credit. A credit you are giving. Satyapan is giving a credit to Ganesh for making the payment. How many days? It may range from 1 day to 270 days. 1 day to 270 days. Satyapan can give a credit of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 150 days, etc. Like that I can give credit. Now what will happen? If I give a credit or something like that, then what is really happening is my money, I am out of money. I am out of money means generally for any credit, the prices of the product is slightly jacked up. The price of the product is slightly jacked up. If you are giving cash, no, say this happens in your local trade also. If you are giving cash, I will give you a discount. If you are not giving cash, I'm not giving a discount or something. You must have heard. You are all traders. You are all exporters, etc. You must have heard. Same thing in USANS also. If he is making the payment on side basis, you can give a finer rate, 17.90 cents or something. If he is not giving, he wants to take 50 days credit or 90 days credit or something, you will tell $18, sir, $18. That means 10 cents you are keeping as a margin. Or as interest. When you make the document, site means he will make the payment immediately. USANS make, he will make the payment after the agreed period. URC 522, Uniform Rules for Collection. Next slide I'm going. That is URC 522, Uniform Rules for Collection. This helps you to understand the rules for collection. That is when you make the documents under collection. 600 is Uniform Customs and Practice for Documentary Credits. This is UCPDC, is generally called as UCP, and this is helps you to understand your export under LCs. Okay. Now almost we are coming to the end, and 3-4 slides we will complete it, and then we'll start the question and answer session. This is one website. You should go into it and then check it. This is one website. It's not having any method. This has got lot of details about exports, and you will get plenty of knowledge about exports through this website. That's why I thought of showing this website to you. India Exports. It's a government initiative. This site is also a government initiative. That's why whenever you have time, you go into the site and then check it. And then now we will go to the Incoterms. Okay. Incoterms means, what is Incoterms? Incoterms means international commercial terms. Now I am showing the slide of Incoterms to you. What is Incoterms means? Incoterms means international commercial terms. It is revised in the year 2020. The
So the
international.
website was not visible.
1 minute. That on the top I have written, you see now, India exports. On the top, are you able to see it now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, now I am going into the Incoterms site. Incoterms. Incoterms means international commercial terms. International commercial terms is revised in the year 2020. It has got 11 terms, that is 11 articles. 11 articles, and it was revised. Earlier it was 13 in 2010 Incoterms. Now it is revised to 11. 2 have been removed or merged, I can say. And but only 3 you should know well. Only 3 Incoterms you should know well. One is FOB, one is CIF, and CFR. CFR is FOB means free on board. CIF means cost, insurance, freight. CFR means it is cost and freight. I will explain you. I've got a particular product. I'm good at it. I'm manufacturing that product. And then the cost of the product is 70 rupees. 70 rupees means if someone comes to my shop and buy the goods, it is 70 rupees. Somebody comes, Ganesh comes from Singapore coming into my shop and buys that product, it is 70 rupees. Because he is coming to my shop and buying it, there is no couriering business for me. There is no sending by ship or something like that. There is no air shipment, etc. That's hence I'm charging him as X works at my shop. Same way, if I go and pack everything, I manufacture the goods and pack the goods and put it on the ship, that is called FOB. That means after putting on the ship, I just get the bill of lading, etc. My duty ends there. My duty, that is Sathapan's duty, ends there. Now what will happen? I put the goods on the deck of the ship. Then what will happen? My duty is over or something, or give it to the clearing agent or the CHA. My job is over. That's why that it is called FOB. That charges is that cost is 70 rupees. That is manufacturing cost, profit, bank interest, all charges up to port, airport is equal to FOB. We will take it as 70 rupees. And that, but if overseas party, that Ganesh is telling, no, you add freight also up to Singapore and then just send it, you only pay the freight, like that he is telling. The Ganesh is telling you only pay the freight as per the contract, like that. No? Then the freight for that item is 3 rupees for sending it to Singapore. Then what will happen? I add the 3 rupees and then it is called C&F. That is cost and freight. That is called cost and freight. 73 is the cost and freight. And now Ganesh, now he is telling, no, you add insurance also. Ganesh is telling you add insurance also. Then what will happen? Now the total will be 74. This is called the CIF, cost, insurance, freight. These are all the 3 terms you should know well. One is FOB, number 2 is C&F, third is CIF. These are all the 3 terms you should know well. Out of the 11 terms, all other terms are interdependent, and then there is no need of knowing much or something like that. These 3 classes, 3 articles, you are very, very important to read, etc. Now what will happen? This 74 rupees is your goods value. Now you can't quote in rupee. You can't quote in rupee. If you are quoting in rupee, that is difficult for your Singapore person. That's why you have to quote in US dollars. You have to quote in US dollars means then what will happen? $1 you are getting 70 rupees nowadays. But 74 means that the US dollar may vary. It can go to 76, it can go to 74, 73 or something like that. No. Then what will happen? You are trying to price at $1. You are trying to price this particular product. What you are having is $1, $1 US dollar. $1 US dollar equal to 74 rupees or something like that. You are quoting as $1 US for that product. If you are sending 1,000 products of the same category, you are charging $1,000 or something. 1 into 1,000 is $1,000. This is called Incoterms. This is a simple one, but this also takes a lot of time in understanding or something. There is a booklet, separate booklet available for Incoterms, which contains all the 11 terms or something like that. Okay. Now I was talking continuously about Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. In case you send the document on open account basis, in case you send the document on documentary collection basis or something like that, you necessary to take export credit insurance. It is a unique insurance company. Not many countries have got this kind of insurance. Not many countries have got this kind of insurance. It is a unique insurance company. It helps the small exporters well. It helps the small exporters well. What happens in case your payment is not coming in, if there is a default, protracted default by the overseas party, Ganesh is defaulted in making the payment to me. If the Ganesh is defaulted in making the payment to me, then what will happen? ECGC will pay 90% of the value to me. ECGC will try to pay 90% of the value, provided my documentation is good. Provided my documentation is good. That's why you should make good documentation to make get the claim, etc. Every time, whenever you are exporting it, you cannot be casual. You cannot be casual. Always you have to pay your attention. Always you have to pay your attention. Okay. What are the incentives available to the exporter? I was telling you, India is phasing out the incentives, but there are some incentives are available. One is interest equalization scheme, 5% for MSME companies. Through the, when you are taking a bank loan, that is PC or PCFC, when you are taking a bank loan, then banks gives 5% concession in the interest. 8% is the bank interest, means 5% less, 3% only they will charge you for your exports. Okay, then MEIS is was there for a long time as a incentive measure, that is removed, and RODTEP, that is remission of duties and taxes on export products is introduced, and then ROS CTL is introduced, rebate of state and central levies and taxes is introduced. There is a scheme called duty drawback is also there. That is also you can make use of it. Other concessions like subsidy in your travel for exhibition, when you are traveling outside for exhibitions or business promotion, etc. The export promotion councils may give some money to you for some select people, not to all people, some select people. And the subsidies will be phased out. Do not expect the subsidy and then just export it. Forget the subsidy and then export it or something. Your product should be good, unique. Your product should be good and unique or something like that. And it has to be well. The quality should be good. The quality should be good. The quality and the timing, that I can say as two eyes of view. The quality and the time of export. That means within the time you have to export it. You cannot delay it or something like that. Indians generally have got a tendency to delay it. They always say, Indians in the sense including me only, that is what I say is generally even in my office also, if I am telling my boss I'm coming in 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that, I will not tell I'm coming in 10 or 15 minutes or 1 hour or something like that. I will say 1 minute, I will come, 1 minute I will come, like that. This is a common usage, we all do it. 1 minute I will come, but 1 minute I will never go. I go after 1 hour or something like that. This my 1 minute is equal to 1 hour or something like that. That's why that many foreigners, they take they always complain about Indians that they always delay the things. The quality, they don't complain. Quality is good or something like that, they always tell. That is the reason what I'm telling is that is quality and time are two eyes of yours. Now, export-import policy you have to read. This is compulsory for you. Export-import policy you should read. Then only you will understand the benefits of your exporting or something like that. This is available in this website, dgft.gov.in. If you go into this particular link, then you will get all the export-import policies, notification, how to read the policy, general notes about the export policy, appendixes, restricted items, prohibited items, what are the items you cannot export, what are the items you can export, what are the items prohibited, what are the items restricted. All these things you will know from this website, Export-Import Policy of India, and other things you will know from this website. Opinion report. Now, for example, you are exporting it, and there is an importer available in Singapore, Kenya, not Ganesh. There is a different exporter is coming from Kenya or Nigeria or something like that. And when he sends a when he sends a contract, or when he shows interest, you have to know about the party, know your customer, That means you have to know your customer. Now, KYC you have to do. That means KYC means you should know about the party. You should ask under details. after that, what is happening? You can take a opinion report from Dun & Bradstreet or Mira Inform or Experian like that. When you take a opinion report, then what will happen? The companies, Dun & Bradstreet and all will tell this company, so and so company in Nigeria, you are trying to export, is not a good company, like that they will tell. They have defaulted in exports. It's not a good company. If there is a good company, like your credit reports, your CIBIL report you are taking, no? Same thing I am talking. You have to pay some money and take the Dun & Bradstreet report, Mira Inform report, Experian report. Here you are taking CIBIL report for MSME companies, CIBIL report for your individuals. If the score is 800, 850 and all, it's excellent score, 700 over, it's excellent score, like that we are telling CIBIL score. Same thing in Dun & Bradstreet, Mira Inform, Experian and all, they will tell about that history of that importer, history of the importer. Then you can decide whether to export to that particular party or not, like that. There are very good prospects for exports. Even during COVID period, our exports are growing. Skill development is there. Lot of seminars have happened. That's why that exports are growing to that extent of 40%. Export to the extent of 40% or something like that. That's why that you also can export it and win and make foreign exchange or get foreign exchange for India. And I wish all of you a great success in your export venture. I am part of your this one. I'm not part of your venture on profits, etc. I'm not part of your venture on exports, not profit, etc. But for your growth, I am your partner for you. Okay, my email ID is seturaman.sathapan@gmail.com. My mobile number is given 98204-51259. That is after 8 p.m. only you please call. I'm working for a bank in Mumbai. That's why during the day don't call. After 8 p.m. you can call anytime, any day. After 8 p.m. to till 10:30, 11 you can call. And you can email your queries or you can WhatsApp your queries. Email is better than WhatsApp because in WhatsApp I have got around 6,000 people. It goes sadak like that backside and all. That's the reason that is you can email your queries, etc. Now the announcement I am making it. Now the announcement is I translated UCP that Ramesh was telling. I translated UCP book in Tamil. That book is worth about 3,000 rupees or something like that. But I have a PDF version of the book. I am going to give it to all the 93 participants. Only one thing you should do is you just to the email ID you just send a mail, and then I will attach it and send it to you. And then you can ask for the UCPDC book like that. I'll send the book. That book will be really useful. If you go and buy, it will cost you 3,000 rupees. Through because of Ramesh, you will get it free today. Okay, that I have made 3 announcements. One is UCP book free for you, and then second is I am doing export. I can do export documentation free of cost for you. Third one is any advisory which I can do or something like that, and make use of it and grow India's exports, etc. And I sincerely thank Ramesh and the team for the excellent work what they are doing in Karnataka for the help of farmers, etc. Upliftment of farmers in case of local sales and exports. Now the session is open for questions. I just hand over the mic to Ramesh, and the question answer session is also available there. Please stay. Another 20 minutes we will take question answer. Over to Ramesh.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a wonderful session and a lot of insights and in-depth knowledge we have gained in this couple of hours. Thank you so much. May I request participants to raise your hands to get an opportunity to interact with the speaker. If you have any questions, you can discuss. Now the platform is open for question and answers. One by one, we can take it. Don't hurry up and don't put it in chat box. You can raise your hands. Opportunity will be given to the participants to interact with the speaker. Thank you. Participants, one by one, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Sir, this is Shashi from Mumbai. Regarding the book that you mentioned, will it be available in English also?
Yes, it is in English and Tamil. English and Tamil, but you can read only English portion, don't read the Tamil portion.
Thank you. Thank you.
English, it's also available in English.
Thank you. Excellent session. Thank you.
Thank you for the excellent session, sir. I have 3 questions, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I am unable to what quote.
Hello,
the-
1 minute, Mr. 1 minute. Hello, others, please mute your phone. Please do not talk. Yeah, please. Another 20 minutes only. After that, you can talk anything. You can just enjoy you can enjoy your talking, etc. 20 minutes, please do not talk. Yes, please continue.
Sir, actually, I have 2-3 questions, sir.
Yes,
It was an excellent session. I have been attending your sessions regularly
yes, thank
from
you.
different forums also. I am unable to quote to the buyer regarding freight and insurance. How to add and how to find out the cost of freight and insurance,
Okay,
and
okay.
where to
Excellent
find
question.
the insurance cost. Because
Okay, it's a good question. It's a good question. Okay, continue, please.
Prima facie, I am unable to get that insurance cost and the freight cost.
Okay,
And
this
second
is
one is
no, 1 minute, one by one we will go. This is
Okay.
a good question. A lot of small exporters, first time exporters face this problem. Because if you go to the CHA and take the quote only and then you don't export it, you will get fed up. That means you are taking quote only, you are not exporting through him or something like that. There are some good CHAs around. You should be in contact with 5 or 6 CHAs in your place or nearby bigger places, or 10 CHAs. Go to one by one. Don't go to all the people or something like that, and take the quote. And the same way, insurance companies will give the quote. Insurance agents will give the quote for you. Agents also, you should be in touch. You should be in touch with insurance agents, and you should be in touch with various insurance companies are there. The various insurance companies issue export policies. Okay, import policy, export policy, they issue it. Coverage, marine coverage, they issue it. It's not only New India, not only Oriental or something like that. All the companies are issuing it nowadays. That's why that Tata AIG, etc. also issuing it. You should be in touch with insurance agents for the insurance premium, and you should be in touch with the CHA. At least 5 to 10 CHAs you should be having some relationship, and then they will be in a position to give you a quote for you, and then you can add the quote CHA. Nowadays the websites are also giving. I think I should find some websites and give it to you. Some websites are also giving quotes and all. If you are giving the places, that is I'm exporting from India to Singapore, this is the cubic feet I'm exporting it, this is the weight, all these things if you are providing, there is a quote given by the websites also. That's why that some websites I can send it to you. Be in touch with me. Some websites I will send it to you so that you can be in touch with CHA as well as insurance agents for getting your required details and add it up to your FOB and then export it. Okay, go to the next question.
So next
Can I
question
ask
is how
Tara?
far,
Hello?
how
Please.
far it is safe to export with the payment terms of payment against scan copy of documents,
Payment again?
against scan copy of BL.
No, that is not an advisable one. This is actually, there are a lot of frauds are happening in exports. Now what will happen? That is a scanned copy of that. That means you are already making all the goods and ready for dispatch or something like that. You are exporting it also. Already you are exported and then scanning the copy to the overseas party. When you scan, you expect the payment will come on side basis or something like that. There are chances the payment may not come in. When the payment is, unless the party is known to you, don't do it. Unless the party is known to you, don't do it. This kind of export, scan copy and okay. This is my advice. But if the party is known, you can do it.
Okay, sir. And
Hello,
under
participants,
under
please raise
FOB,
one
No,
second.
Mr.
no
Hello.
terms, sir.
Hello. This
Please
is
wait, hold on.
okay.
Can I
Ramesh,
request
Ramesh, you can moderate. You can moderate, please.
Participants, can I request you to please raise your hands? We will come back one by one in the order. We have now the opportunity is given to Kumara Swami Rakam for asking a question, then followed by Tara Kanta Pat, Sahul Ahmed, then Medha, Lakshmi Chand, Jagati Artek, Anjali. These are the persons who have raised hands. Let us go by in order. The first person to ask for question, Kumara Swami. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you, sir. This is Kumaraswamy Rakam. I'm working for City Union Bank. I have a small query, sir. Sir,
Yes.
after shipment is done, after receiving the export proceeds, usually we issue EBRC to the exporters. So my point here is, after receiving the part payment from buyer, whether we can issue part EBRC?
EBRC,
Partially.
I need to check this because I don't day-to-day basis. I don't deal with EBRC issuance. I will come back to you, or you be in touch with me separately on WhatsApp or something. Maybe tomorrow I can clarify to you. Okay? EBRC,
Okay, sir.
I'm not comfortable in answering because
Okay, thank you.
day-to-day EBRC issuance I'm not handling it. That's why I can come back to you by checking with my departments.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, the next one we have James Malter.
Kalamar, sorry.
Mr. James Malter is there?
Hello, good morning.
Export, yes, good morning.
Payments
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell me, na.
Yeah, it's a wonderful season, and I have one query. If I want to bring some livestock animals from aboard, and if I want to take any approvals from any local authorities,
You are talking about import?
import, yeah.
Import. There are some restrictions are there. You just send a message to me. I will tell you that I think it is a banned item, but still I can check and tell you. And I can check the export-import policy and tell you that is whether it is importable or not like that, or if it is importable, what are the licenses and other procedures you have to follow. I can tell you. You please send me a message in WhatsApp or email. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. It's a wonderful season.
Can I ask Mr. Ravichandra to ask his question?
Okay.
Mr. Ravichandra, please.
Yeah. Sir, good afternoon.
Yes, correct.
Thank you very much for this wonderful session. I think you have explained it in a very simple and practical way. Thank you for the service that you are doing for the exporters. Sir, generally, when you look at this entire process, there are a lot of things that the exporter has to do. Is there some kind of a checklist which can be shared, sir, so that we
checklist for documentation or something?
The entire process in,
hello, others, please mute. Now, what is the problem in muting the phone? Hello, what is the problem in muting the phone? Please, unga phone alla mute பண்ணுங்க. உங்க phone la mute பண்ணுங்க. எல்லாரும் சத்தம் இங்க கேக்குது. Phone la mute பண்ணுங்க, please. Okay, yes, please go ahead. A checklist for what?
Starting from the.
Hello. I think you are. I'm not able to hear you.
No horn.
Now am I audible?
Yes.
I was telling that if we can have some kind of a checklist starting from the getting an inquiry to completing the payment and sending the EBRC to the thing.
See, for everything, it's very difficult to make a checklist. As an exporter, you can start making the checklist or something. Export documentation ka checklist is available. Other than export documentation, you have to make your own checklist only. Documentation checklist, if you want, I can find out one and send it to you.
Right, sir.
Okay.
I will connect with
you. You can send by email. You can send a request by email. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next question.
Shahul Hamid to ask the question. Shahul Hamid.
Hello.
Yes, Shahul.
Sir, I'm calling from E-Road. We are doing turmeric export.
Okay.
So I have this question regarding payment issues. So last 2015, we didn't open up to Casablanca.
Okay.
And the buyer, he was buying actually properly, and suddenly he just turned his back and he didn't take the container, and we were not able to receive any money.
Okay.
So how do I avoid something like this in the future?
It is which terms you exported, open account or which terms? It's
open account.
Open account. Open account means have you done any ECGC coverage you have done or not?
I don't think so.
No, ECGC coverage is open account and collection document. ECGC coverage is a must. Without ECGC, first of all, open account ka buyer's credit report. That means importer's credit report. You should get it. That is buyer's ka credit report. You should take it. This is point number 1. Point number 2 is that ECGC coverage is very, very important. These two things, have you done it? You should have got almost 90%. You should have got, and that is the problem. You have done. Otherwise, what you should have done is you should have taken back the goods. Alternative buyer, you could have got it at the time itself. If he has not taken the goods, or if he has taken the goods and sold and all, no, then that is these are the only two ways out. Only is ECGC And the second is buyer's report. If you have taken, then it would have told the current this one, that buyer is a good buyer or not a good buyer, etc. Okay, this both you are not done. That is the reason I think you must not have realized that money.
Hello, can I ask Lakshmi Chand from Raipur to ask the question?
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a very nice session actually. I have one doubt actually. It is not 100% related to the context of the subject of today's webinar, but please, if possible, try to answer this.
Yes,
Like,
please.
yeah, if someone wants to buy something, he is from suppose Philippines.
Okay.
And I am giving him the supply from Kenya.
Okay.
How the payments can be done and how the documents can be done.
See, the third country export is allowed. Third country export is allowed. That's why that you can accept it. Import or export, third country export is allowed. This is point number one. The payment, payment term can be anything, site or USANs. The currency can be also anything. It can be a US dollar, it can be GBP, it can be euro, anything. The currency can be anything, but don't try to bill it in Kenyan shillings or something like that. That will be really, that will not be helpful, or Philippines rupee or something like that. Philippines currency or Kenyan currencies. Don't try to bill it. That will be really a difficult one for sell it in India. When you receive the money, it is very, very difficult for you to sell in the market. That's why that there is a market available for US dollar, GBP, Japanese yen, or euro or something like that. But wide market is not available for the miscellaneous currencies. You can bill it in Indian rupee also, provided if he is accepting it. Indian rupee, say I am telling everyone, Indian rupee billing is allowed. Indian rupee billing is allowed. Then you can bill it in Indian rupee also, provided the overseas party accepts it.
Okay. And how will be the procedure? How means suppose I am getting the payment from the Philippines and I have to pay to the Kenyan company. Then how will be the procedure for this?
Yes, you will get one import document. That means one import document you will get it from Kenya. Okay. Yeah, that means you are importing from Kenya, but the goods are not coming into India. Listen carefully.
Yeah,
You are importing from
India.
you are importing from Kenya. That's why one set of document will be available for Kenya. That will be lesser value. The goods are going to Philippines. For that you are exporting it. That means there is one export is also happening. That means export ka payment when you receive it. After that you can make payment for the Kenyan party. That is import payment. As an import payment, that is allowed as per Indian regulation. As per RBI, it is allowed. It is almost equal to merchanting trade.
And what if the delivery means I have to deliver the goods to UAE or some another country?
No, anywhere you can deliver. See, from Kenya to Philippines, Kenya to UAE, anywhere you can deliver. There is no problem.
Okay, and yeah, all right. And do I have to take care for anything for such type of transactions?
No, there is a relevant RBI regulations are there. You can contact me. I will give you the RBI regulation for this kind of exports and imports. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, one more thing, sir. You have mentioned about one book. How we can get the book?
I told you, you send an email that is asking for UCPDC book, UCP book. Asking for you. So only one line you send it, request by email. I will send the book in 1 or 2 days to you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Can I ask Mr. Ram to ask his question? Mr. Ram? Okay. Medha, please.
Hello. Can I
go ahead.
Yeah, this is Soumya Raj from Atre Exports.
Okay.
We are a export company who have started off recently into spices export from India. Sir, I would like to understand one thing. Since we are the beginners, we are not very familiar with the documentation. Our company is from Bangalore.
Okay.
Can I get help in terms of documentation from some company in Bangalore who can handhold us in the document?
See, I really don't know the companies who are handling documents. Generally, chartered accountants handle this documentation. And if there is any doubt or something like that, And now, in case if you are getting any LC, if you want to make any documentation, or generally for collection, if you want to make any documentation, if there is any doubt, you can be in touch with me. I can clarify all your doubts. There is no cost or something. It is free of cost. I am telling you, whether it is your company or whether it is your personal exports or something like that. There is no problem. But I don't know any company. You have to search in Google that this export document. Tirupur and all, many people are there. In Tirupur, many people are there, but in Bangalore, I don't know, because I am from Tamil Nadu. That's why that settled in Mumbai.
Can you please share some companies' names on the chat box? Or
No, not now. You send me a mail. I will try to find out the company and tell you or something, because chat box right now I don't have anything currently ready made. You send me a mail and I will reply to it. Okay. Okay.
Second
Can I ask
thing is,
Anjali ma'am to ask the question? Anjali ma'am, please.
Sorry, your turn will come. Sorry.
Hold on for a minute, sir. I haven't completed yet.
Tell me.
Sir, one more thing is your presentation was very crisp and up to the point. Just a small request, if possible, can we have a series of such things for exports on a weekly basis, 1 or 2 hours?
See, the problem is I'm doing a lot of seminars. Almost I have dedicated my Sundays to all the seminars only. My seminars are happening in Tamil Nadu and other areas. Regularly it's happening. But only thing is series of seminars and all, it's difficult for me because a lot of preparation is required for this kind of seminars, and then even if I'm an expert, I need preparation to come for the seminar, etc. That's since I'm working for a bank also. That's why that it should not clash with the bank's interest or something. I'm doing a lot of seminars. You can participate in all my seminars, etc. It may be in Tamil or it may be in English. Regularly, I'm doing it. There are some seminars are paid seminars. There are maximum seminars I'm doing it free seminars only. And that's why that you can participate in my seminar, which is widely circulated. And now Ramesh also will start circulating it, and others also will start circulating. There it goes to 50,000, 60,000 people. And that's the reason that you can participate in my seminars regularly or something. Okay, or you can be in touch with me whenever there is a next seminar, I will tell you.
You have a YouTube channel or something, sir?
No, I am working. No, that's why I can't do all these things. And that's why there are some of my recordings are there in YouTube also. That's why you can go and check it as Sethuraman Sathapan. Sethuraman Sathapan, if you check it, there are about 5 to 10 videos you can get it about exports, etc. Which I have not put it. Somebody else must have put it whoever conducted the program.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Can I ask Anjali ma'am to ask the question, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So good morning and thank you for a very informative session. I have 2 small questions. The first one, I think someone has already asked. Can we have EBRC for a part payment? And my second question is, you mentioned that packing credit, but this packing credit is given only for a loan sanctioned to the customer. Is it?
As a packing credit is given as a facility to you. It's a loan granted. That means you have to go to the bank and ask for the packing credit facility against the export order. You should have an export order with you. After that, you have to go to the banker and ask for the facility and all. The banker will evaluate the export order. If the order value is really on the higher side, then he may ask for some collateral security or something like that to grant the facility. Generally, the facilities are granted that at some 8% or 7% interest rate. That's why at a very cheaper interest rate, you will get this facility, PCR, PCFC facility, you can get it. But it depends on bank to bank. Some banks will not insist for collateral security. Some bank insist for collateral security. That's why you need to check with your bankers for these things. And second thing is EBRC. If you send a mail or something, I will clarify by tomorrow to you, because I don't issue EBRC at my level. At the lower level, it is being done in my bank. I can check and tell you that part payment EBRC can be issued or not. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Can I ask Mr. Ram to ask the question? Is he available, Mr. Ram? Can we pass on to Mr. Ranganathan? Mr. Ranganathan?
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Ranganathan.
Yes, good morning.
Actually, I have a very good session with you, and which has practically I am using the same. What you are elaborated all these things. except only one thing, that is transfer of LC.
Yes.
Which I have not experienced, and I have a interest on that one. Could you elaborate again, because whatever we are learning theoretically, practice is one thing that will stable on our.
Okay, I agree with you. Okay, I will explain.
Yes.
Actually, when we get a LC, the word transferable should be there in the LC. Without that, you cannot transfer the LC. This is point number 1. Point number 2, when you get the LC, when Ranganathan gets the LC, you are not able to export it. Then what will happen? You can give that LC endorsed to me. It's just like an endorsement. You will give that LC to me, that is endorsing. You will tell your banker, that is you endorse this LC favoring Satyapan or something like that. That means LC comes to me. You can take some commission. You can take commission means, for example, if the product value is 1,000 rupees, and you can say that you will transfer the LC only for 900 rupees to me. That means 100 rupees you are keeping margin for yourself, and then you will allow me to export. When I bill to you, I will bill it at 900 rupees. You will remove this 900 rupees bill and you will substitute with 1,000 rupees bill and submit the export document. When the payment comes, then you pay 900 rupees to me, or the banker pays 900 rupees to the Satyapan, and 100 rupees they will pay to you or something. You make some money out of it. Maybe it may be called a commission or something like that. And this is called transferable letter of credit. This is, as you rightly said, this is not widely used, but as a banker, I have seen it hundreds of cases in my life. How do we do the transfer? How the other party will not know the actual goods value, etc. Then you can come on a phone or something like that. I will explain in detail to you after 8 o'clock on any day.
Okay. And one more thing, sir. I have one bad experience in the LC, local LC only. The LC. Hello.
Tell me.
Hello.
Tell me.
In local LC, what happens now? The customer is also usually LC only issued, but the payment has not. But since it's been confirmed LC, the bank also supposed to pay the thing on behalf of the customer. But that has also not happened. And lately we have all the discussion and queries, and then they paid. Customer later paid. But my question is, why the bank, even in the LC clause it's mentioned confirmed, but the bank has not paid the thing. That's the question. Luckily for us, it is a domestic LC. Whereas if it is abroad means, we don't have no other option. We cannot able to go to customer place also, or bank also, we cannot able to ask. Since these kind of lapses, how we can avoid it? Even we may mention confirmed in the LC also, how we can survive on that? Because those payments are heavy one also for us.
See, I'll tell you, when there is, always LC is also a payment method. There will be always disputes will be there. Always there will be disputes happening in LCs also. And then same thing, when you work in an office, 50 people are there. Always you will have enemies, friends, etc. Same way that there will be disputes available in LCs also. When there is a dispute in LC, you can go to ICC and represent. ICC has got an office in India, and you can complain against the bank. You can complain against that particular bank. This bank, after sending the document, and it's a clean document, and they are not making the payment, so ICC will direct that bank to make the payment. You can go to court and file a case against the bank or something like that. These are all the remedies available to you.
Is it chargeable for the ICC?
ICC is not chargeable, but court is chargeable. Court, you have to pay stamp duty, etc.
Of course. Anyhow, sir, very useful session, and I will keep on touch with you after 8 o'clock.
Okay,
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can I ask Jayavani Pandian to ask the question? Jayavani Pandian. Can we pass on to Shashi?
Yeah, so my question is, where is this ICC based in India? Can you just guide us? Where is
Can you repeat the question?
The ICC you mentioned, we can approach there. Where is it based in India? Which location?
Delhi. It's based in Delhi.
Okay, thank you.
You can search on Google. It's based in Delhi. Next
The
question.
next question, can we pass on to Jagati Architect? Jagati Architect.
Good morning.
Yes, yes. Tell me, Jagati.
Hello.
Yes.
Ask your question, please.
When we approach the bank for the credit facility, they ask for 3 years of transactions and filings.
This is actually a common requirement. And if you are a new exporter, you can tell them, I don't have 3 years, I am a new exporter or something like that. I agree with you. That is, bankers also wants to protect their interest. That is the reason generally they ask for 3 years balance sheet, 3 years IT returns or something like that. But when you don't have it, you can say that don't have it. I have seen many bankers have granted facility for a new customer also. That means some security or some collateral security or a guarantee they may ask for it that you have to provide. In such cases, they may waive the 3 years balance, 3 years IT return, etc.
Okay. This 3 years is mandatory RBI policy, or is
yes. It's generally it is a mandatory one as per RBI. But only thing, it can be waived by them in case if you provide a collateral security or something. See, they should know that 3 years means they should know your credentials. That's why that whether you are a good exporter, whether you do really exports or something like that. Otherwise, simply they part the money to you. And then if you are not repaying it, then it's a problem for the manager. That's the reason he is asking for 3 years. But it can be waived. If it's a new exporter, this can be waived also.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask Medha, the last person, to ask for question, please? Last question, Medha.
Sir, I have already asked. You can go ahead.
Okay. Any more participants who want to ask any questions? Any participant who wish to ask any question, please raise your hand. Please come forward.
Okay, you can close the session, Ramesh. And if they want to contact, then they can contact over email or phone or WhatsApp or something. And yes, please.
I'm Ranganathan, sir. Ranganathan. One more thing, sir. This kind of seminar, could you continually do on monthly basis, export and import purposefully?
I will try. Another request is coming from another person also. I will try to do some more program. The problem is sometimes the adequate number of people are not joining or something. Today it is fine, around 100 people are there. But sometimes 10-20 people seminar and 100 people seminar or 1000 people seminar is same thing. I do regular program for Dinamalar actually at Tirupur and Karur and other places and Coimbatore and all.
Those seminar link at least could have been forwarded or live YouTube things will help us now.
Okay. We will try to put YouTube channel or something like that. That will help actually. I will do it. I will try. Really do it shortly.
Because today only I just came to know Sethuraman Sarthapan sir is this much of all these things through Mr. Ramesh.
Okay.
But moment I listening your session, I came to know there are a lot of things in the export and imports.
Yes, agreed.
And practically I am doing some small things, but we have to learn more and more. And there are a lot of commercial activities across the countries is there. So I just want to know, understand everyone to this. So that's why
I will do it. That YouTube channel and communication, I will slightly improve it so that all people will know about my activities, etc. We will try to do something. Okay. Right. Thank you. Ranganathan, where are you from? Actually,
I am from Chennai, sir.
Chennai. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Sir, one more point.
Somashaldar, you want to ask something?
Yes, sir. I want to add 2-3 points. Sorry for that, because everybody's raised their hand. I haven't got the chance to speak.
Tell me.
First of all, thanks to you and the conductor by Mr. Ramesh and everyone in the team. It is a very wonderful session. It is nice to hear from your end. It is fantastic session, sir. Concern is that everybody is writing the message, the UCB book sent to me email. Please stop those things. Send the email to sir And second thing, in between the meeting, don't make any trouble. You are speaking with someone, just put the mic on hold or leave the meeting. This nuisance is happening sometimes. That's I want to avoid that. And
Okay.
third point, your session is wonderful, and I would recommend all the people get in touch with the Seduraman sir, because I personally met Seduraman sir at in Mumbai, their office, and a very wonderful session, very nice meeting with him. He has given a lot of inputs, information to me. And please take the book of Seduraman sir. I read all the books which I will show you, but it is in the Tamil language, but he is having the English languages. This all the books I have taken from Seduraman sir. These books you can read it. Is very simple language, and everybody can understand the languages. It's very smooth manner. This is there. See, already I am doing exporter. I am the basically engineer. And the meanwhile I am doing exports to multiple countries. Still, I am reading the books. I know some rules and regulations. Still, I'm improving myself through read those kind of books, because sir is having very good experience of more than 36 years experience in the bank industries. The people, whomsoever the experienced people is explaining, that time please watch, listen carefully, and understand the things. And in between that, don't ask any questions. After finishing end of the session, before then, you can ask the question to Seduraman sir, which will be great for him also and for everyone to understand well. And whatever your queries, we can get it. That's what my concern. Thank you, sir. You can do all the sessions. At least if you have the time, you can do a lot of sessions always. Sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for giving wonderful opportunities. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to get an opportunity to deliver vote of thanks. We wholeheartedly thank today's resource person, Mr. Sethuraman Sattapan sir, for enlightening us on the topic export payment methods and documentation with his rich experience and vast knowledge. He has shared his in-depth knowledge on export payment methods and explained the simplified summary of export rules and documentation. We are very much grateful to him for sharing simplified version of UCPC book for the benefit of budding exporters. I am sure knowledge gained by participants will give them confidence to take their export businesses to next level in the international markets. We express our sincere gratitude to Dr. A.M. Suresh, founder and managing director of Disciples India Group, and Mr. K.M. Shivaprasad, co-founder and executive director of Disciples India Group, Bangalore, for their support and encouragement in organizing this webinar. Disciples India Group is into training and placement in Bangalore. We are grateful to all the participants for actively participating and cooperating with us in making this webinar a successful and memorable one. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. It's a nice session. Thanks to the Disciples Group and Mr. Ramesh especially. Thanks to all the participants, and we will conduct more such seminars for their benefit. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
With your permission, can I end the session?
Yes, please do it. Please.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Sethuraman sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Forward for